Let me read to you a passage from the 10th chapter of St. Mark's Gospel, verses 35 to 45. It's the Gospel for the 29th Sunday in Ordinary Time Year B. I shall only read part of it because it is a long passage. St. Mark writes, "Then James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to Jesus. 'Teacher,' they said, 'we want you to do for us whatever we ask.' 'What do you want me to do for you?' he asked. They replied, 'Let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in your glory.' When the 10 heard about this, they became indignant with James and John. Jesus called them together and said, 'You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials impose authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be the slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many.'" That's from Mark chapter 10, verses 35 to 45, or at least most of it. What does it suggest to us? It suggests thoughts about the common good. You know, I once watched a Vietnamese movie portraying the terrible sufferings of many Vietnamese in communist re-education camps. At great threat to their lives, great numbers attempted to escape, at times succeeding. One scene showed a conversation between the young and brutal commander and a badly treated inmate. The commander accused the inmate of not appreciating the freedom and liberation that communism had brought to the country. The weakened inmate replied that he had no freedom at all, and with that perceived insult, the commander proceeded to beat him savagely. You know, powerful and aggressive ideologies of the last couple of centuries have had as their goal the improvement of society, that is, the common good as they understood it. For instance, Robert Owen, who lived from 1771 to 1858, was one of the founders of the socialist movement and had as his aim the alleviation of poverty. He laid it down that no one is responsible for his own will and behaviour, and is entirely formed by his external circumstances. So the common good of society involved shaping individuals by a properly constructed environment. Of course, in such a view of the common good, it is a short step towards tyranny. And with the appearance of Karl Marx's master work Das Kapital in 1848, the sad story of communism began. The common good was the prize ahead, and untold suffering for untold numbers resulted. But there was a very different notion of the common good. Capitalism understood itself as based on full freedom, especially in ownership. Each person has the right to own and use his property as he deems fit, and the state ought desist from interference. Adam Smith, who lived from 1723 to 1790, a friend of David Hume, held that rational self-interest in a free market economy leads to economic well-being. Economic development was best fostered in an environment of free competition. But so bad did the practical result of this view become during the Industrial Revolution that untold numbers of workers lived lives of terrible misery. The great papal encyclical Rerum Novarum of 1891 was in large measure a rebuttal of this laissez-faire capitalism. Now I say all this as an introduction to what our Lord teaches in today's Gospel, for it has direct implications for our understanding of the common good and the way society is to attain it. The result of so much of social and economic theory and practice of the last, century and 2.5 centuries has been the denial of the proper fulfillment of people as groups and individuals. It has resulted in tremendous abuses of authority and power, bringing misery and the denial of rights to those groups and individuals. Indeed, those groups have at times constituted the majority of the state. Russia was a religious Christian nation, and nearly a century ago the Bolsheviks, with their notion of what was good for society, the common good that is, seized power and over the course of decades wreaked great violence on the adherents of religion. We read that Jesus called his disciples together and said, "You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials impose authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be the slave of all." The common good is attained by a profound spirit of service. By the common good, of course, is meant the total of those conditions of social life which allow people as groups and individuals to reach their proper fulfillment. It involves respect for and promotion of the fundamental rights of the person, the development of the spiritual and temporal goods of persons and of society, and it involves the peace and security of all. All men and women, according to the place that they occupy, participate or should participate in promoting this common good. They do this by respecting just laws and taking charge of the areas for which they have personal responsibility, such as the care of their own family and the commitment to their own work. They are also called and should be free to take an active part in public life as far as possible. All of this constitutes the true common good. And for all of this, society needs a proper understanding of man and a model of service to man. Now, where is this understanding and this model to be found? Jesus Christ is the model for every man of what it is to live a life of service. As we heard in the Gospel, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. How far from the example of Jesus Christ have been very many theories of society and of the common good. Let us take Jesus Christ and what he has revealed of the nature and destiny of man as our inspiration for our service of society and our understanding of the common good. The implications of this inspiration coming from Jesus Christ are extensively developed in the Church's great social teaching, extending from Rerum Novarum, already mentioned, through the various social encyclicals since then, and including Caritas in Veritate of Pope Benedict XVI. Let us make it our business to be imbued with the person and example of Jesus Christ and nourished by the Church's teaching.